When you are with me, I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears